Story number 1. Hibachi fun. This happened just yesterday afternoon. My wife convinced me to go to a tulip farm. Spent the time picking up tulips, paying for them, and having to stand/walk around for 3 hours for Instagram pictures is not fun. By the end of that event, we were tired and hungry. I wanted to eat somewhere fun and found a hibachi place. My kids were excited and my wife was happy with her haul. We ended up arriving at the hibachi place and led to our seats. Great service by the staff, more on that later. I forgot to mention that I had a toddler and wanted a high seat for my daughter so she can see the griddle. The staff pointed to one of the wait staff and indicated I needed a high chair. I was 10 feet from the chair and the waitress was further away. I waved her off and grabbed the chair myself. As I returned to the table, another couple was being led to the other side of our table, each hibachi set up Saturday, September 10th people, so I stopped to let them pass. After passing, a woman turned around and said something to me, but it was noisy and I was concentrated on getting my daughter seated. As I struggled with the seat belt, I felt a tap on my shoulder, but I sat my daughter first. After seating my daughter, I turned around and the same lady was literally inches from my face telling me a bunch of things. I giggled and told her, "Sorry, I don't work here." Now, I don't know why she thought I did at all. Everyone who worked there was dressed in black and white. I was wearing a t-shirt, had mud on my shoes and my hair was tossed around like I haven't slept in days. However, she insisted and kept raising her voice at me, granted it was noisy. I repeated that, "I don't work here." She then was heated, yelling, getting angry, saying that it was about her food allergies and if she got sick she would sue me. At this point, I was tired and told her, "I don't care about your allergies because I don't work here." She put her finger in my face and then my wife notices, gets up, swats her hand away and stood between this lady and I. My wife clarifies that I don't work there, turns around and sits me down, and this lady keeps raising her voice that I was rude to her. At this point, her husband was red and grabbed to sit her down. This interaction lasted for less than a minute. The staff came by and calmed everyone down and made sure everyone was seated. They asked if I wanted to be moved. I said no. I was fine where I was, then asked the lady if she wanted to be moved and she said no but seemed pretty pissed off. The hibachi chef has noticed all this as he rolled his cart in. He started his routine and my wife and kids loved it. I just sat there, happy as a clam that everyone was having a great time while I would get to eat. At this point of the dinner, the hibachi chef started spraying my kids with water which they loved, and for the adults he would spray them with white wine from a bottle to loosen them up. When he gets to me, he gives me a really long dose and says, "You need a double. You work overtime today." I thought this was hilarious. As he went around giving all the adults a spray of wife, he gets to the lady and gives her the tiniest of spray and says, "Maybe not too much for you." She giggles but was obviously not entertained. As he does his routine, we had a good time and ate good food. My kids loved it and to me that was the important part. Now after the routine, the chef started cleaning up. He tosses a clean rag and scraper near me and without missing a beat, I yelled, "Yes boss," got up and started scrapping off the grill. The chef started barking at me even more. I moved faster and more frantically. Then a wait staff brings a mop and bucket and I started mopping. Everyone was laughing, my kids were going crazy. It was hilarious to me, at the least. So to add to it, I spontaneously asked everyone to give a generous tip for the show even though it wasn't necessary and they did. Except for you-know-who. I was finally urged back to my chair with clapping from my family. Chef gave a handshake for being a good sport and went on his way. We finished eating and getting served dessert. We then hear talking for the corner where the couple is now arguing because she was mad at me and her husband allowed it all to happen. I really felt bad at that point and just wanted everyone to leave on a good note. I apologized about the interaction earlier because it was easy for me, had not stake in their argument, and it did seem to help. We finished eating and packed up our stuff to leave. As we were leaving, this lady was at the lobby complaining to the manager about everything. My wife stopped and chimed in. Apparently, the manager already knew. Made it clear to the lady to calm down and in the most racist Asian accent, said, "Oh, so sorry, no refund, now you go home." The lady was getting pulled by her husband to the parking lot at this point. "Sorry dude." Then that manager turns to us in the most NJ accent. I can't believe that accent worked. "I hope you guys had a great time." He proceeded to talk to my wife and kids while his staff helped me get our stuff into the car. He walked us out and gave my kids some takeaway snacks. Loved it. Overall, it was a fun day. 2. Story number 2. That's my hoodie, not a dog leash. So, this just happened. I, 38F, have worked different retail and customer service jobs most of my life, and I've dealt with my share of entitled customers at work. I've even been mistaken as an employee at a bunch of stores, but this was my first confrontational experience as a customer. My daughter and I were at Wally World getting dog food and a couple last-minute ingredients for dinner. I'm loading a large bag of dog food while trying to keep a toddler entertained when it happened. An entitled Karen appeared. Obnoxiously pink outfit. Fake gaudy jewelry. Badly dyed hair. And nails long enough to make a tiger jealous. I didn't even know she was there until I felt a sharp jab in the shoulder with those nails. I turned around to an expression that could curdle milk. I say, yes. Load 4 bags of dog food in my cart. She demanded, pointing at the 40 pounds bag I just loaded into my cart. No, please, no polite could you, just a terse order like she was talking to someone so beneath her that she couldn't be bothered saying anything else. I wasn't even slightly resembling a worker since I was wearing jeans, sneakers, and a black hoodie from a local haunted house. Not to mention my daughter in the cart next to me. Still, I wasn't in a rush and my daughter wasn't being fussy. If Karen had asked nicely, I would have gladly helped. I've done that a bunch of times before and have always been glad to help, so long as I got a please and thank you from the person I'm helping. Instead, I just said, "I don't work here, I'm shopping." I was hoping that being direct and staying close to my daughter would show that I was busy. But, no. Her lip curled even harder and sounded insulted when she said, "So you're not going to help me?" I just said, "No, I need to finish my shopping." Not wanting to risk getting caught up in one of the many "I don't work here, lady" stories that I read, I grabbed my cart with my daughter and started walking away. I just wanted to get us away from that situation ASAP. That was my mistake. Never turn your back on a rabid animal. I barely registered Karen's indignant huff before she grabbed me by the hood of my sweater and yanked. This freaked me out from suddenly being choked. I'm someone that's been trained in self-defense, martial arts, and was raised around a bunch of bikers. If maternal instincts weren't telling me to get my daughter out of danger, I probably would have done a lot more damage to the woman than I did. I swung my arm back as hard as I could to force her to let go. I made contact with something hard enough that she let go with a yelp, and I hightailed it to the front of the store to report what happened. The employees, manager, and security were on their game and immediately went looking for Karen as soon as I told them what happened and gave a description. Unfortunately, Karen was gone by the time they went looking for her. The manager still contacted police and a report was filed. I definitely wanted to press charges if I could. According to security, after I hit the woman's bracelet-covered wrist with my closed fist and ran off, she looked really upset and insulted, but then got an "oh$t" look. She started looking around until she looked directly at a camera. Karen then grabbed her purse and sprinted out of the store, leaving her cart and groceries behind. Guess she wasn't a complete idiot after all and realized how badly she messed up. The manager promised to keep an eye out for her. The police said they would contact me if needed. My hand got bruised from how hard I hit her and she left a line on my neck from trying to choke me. My daughter had no idea that anything bad happened. She was giggling when I was running her and the cart to the front. The next day, I got a call from the officer I talked to. Either Karen grew a conscience or someone forced her to turn herself in. She showed up at the police station the next day, looking like a scolded puppy when she got there. Officer's description. Officer asked if I still wanted to press charges and said she'd likely get probation or community service. I told him that I did still want to. Part of me wonders. Did she actually feel bad? Did her husband/wife or whatever ask her why she didn't have the dog food and force her to confess? Or did she come in so she wouldn't be arrested and get a lighter sentence? I don't know. I'm just surprised that she did. Story number 3. Lady says I am a useless worker when I don't even work at the place and then tells me I should go back to my country. I was just getting food at a store while my dad was waiting in the car for me. As I am about to leave, a woman approaches me asking me where something was. I didn't know that she was talking to me, so I just continued what I was doing. Then she grabs my hoodie and starts yelling at me for ignoring her. I tried to explain I did not know she was talking to me, but she cut me off. This store should fire useless workers like you that should go back to your country. A manager heard this and kicked the lady out of the store, while she was still cursing and screaming that I should go back to my country. The manager apologized for the lady and gave a 25% discount on my purchases. I left that store with the biggest smile on my face.